In this video, I'd like to show you how to get around in a Revit project and also give you a little glimpse of why Revit is important and one of the most powerful features of using the software. So let's start with the project browser, which is how we get around in the project. So the project browser is located right here on the left-hand side. So you could really think of this as just your table of contents for the project. This is how you get around in the project here. Now, if I scroll through this list, you'll see that it's organized into different groupings. So at the top, I had floor plans, and then there were ceiling plans, and then here's 3D views. And notice that one of those 3D views is currently bold. Well, that matches up to the name of this tab right here. So the bold is how they indicate on the project browser what the active view is currently on screen. Now, if you want to open up a different view and see your model from a different vantage point, it's as simple as locating the view that you want to open and double-clicking it to open that view up. So if I want to open another view, like let's say this level 1 floor plan view here, I just have to locate it on the project browser, double-click its name, and that will open that view on screen and display it in its own new tab. Now we can continue to do that with other views, like perhaps I want to also see this view from an elevation. So maybe I want to see this right-hand side of the building here. That's the east elevation. So I'll double-click that one next. And you can see now I'm looking right at that east wall. And then as a final view to open, views are not limited to just graphics. We also have tabular views called schedules. So if you scroll down on the browser, you'll see a schedules and quantities branch right here. And you'll notice that I have several schedules available in here. Well, there's a lot of windows displaying on this east wall. So let me double click this window schedule. And this now displays a list of all of the windows contained in the entire model. Now, I can click through the tabs here easily enough to switch between the open views, but it might be nice to see them all simultaneously. So to do that, you simply come up here to the View tab and click this Tile Views button right here. And that will create a 4-tile effect here and put each of those views in its own tile. Now, you can see that some of them are zoomed off of the screen. So notice that there's a small view control bar in each of the windows. And if you just simply click in there and click the drop down, we've got Zoom All to Fit. Now, mine is currently checked already. So if I choose it off the menu, nothing happens. So if it's already checked, what you want to do is actually click the icon instead. And notice that that zooms all 3 of the graphical windows to fit the available screen. Now, I can fine-tune what I'm seeing in each of those views by clicking into the view window to make it active, and then roll the wheel to kind of get a better look. So what I'm going to do is focus in on this bank of windows here. I'll click into the east elevation and focus in on the same bank of windows there, and then finally here in this perspective view and the same bank of windows there. Now, the way that you focus in is just putting your mouse in that general location and then rolling the wheel up a few clicks to focus in on that. Now, one of the most powerful benefits of working in the Revit software is that you've got these several different views of your model, but they all represent the same geometry, the same model. So it's just like being in a real space. You can stand on one side of the room and see things from one vantage point, or on another side and see it from another vantage point. But a change that's made affects all vantage points simultaneously. And let me demonstrate that with my window schedule here. The schedule is a list of all of the windows that are currently in this model. If I click in one of the fields of any of the windows, you'll see the corresponding window element highlight on screen in all 3 of the graphical windows. So the very first line item here, you can see it appear in the floor plan, the elevation, and in the 3D view. So if I click onto a different window, you'll see the selection change in each of those views. So it makes it very easy for you to locate a particular item using the schedule to help you find it. Now, that's not the only thing we can use the schedule for. It's not just simply a tool to help us find elements or select them. We can actually modify the model using this tool as well. So perhaps the most dramatic thing that I might want to do here is the current window that I have selected here. I'm going to come up to this ribbon, and there's a delete button right here on the rows panel. I'm going to click that. Now, Revit will warn me, make sure I'm sure that I want to do this. But let's say that I'm undeterred here and I click OK. Notice that that window disappears, and not only does it disappear in the schedule, but it also disappears in all 3 of the graphical views. That's because those three different views are looking at the same window. So there was only one window, and when you delete it, it gets deleted everywhere. Now, you can do the same thing in any view. So this time what I want to do is go back and select this item. Now, it will highlight in the other two graphical views, but unfortunately it doesn't highlight in the schedule unless you select it in the schedule. But you may recall that this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth line item right here. So I want you to kind of pay attention to that as we make this next change. So I've got this window selected. And over here, we've got a properties palette. I'm going to click this drop down at the top of the properties palette. This is referred to as the type selector, and it allows you to select a different type for this element. I'm going to choose the smallest window on the list, this first item at the top of the list. And notice that as soon as I do that, the window will get tiny here in the elevation. You don't even see it in the floor plan anymore because it's below the cut plane. It does show here in the 3D view as really tiny as well. And notice that right here, the sizes have adjusted to the new size as well. So this illustrates how powerful it is to work in this single coordinated model. A change that you make in one view is instantly evident in all the other views across your project. And that's not just the ones that I'm seeing on screen, it's everywhere. So if I opened up another view that showed this same window, it would already be changed in that view as well. That makes this significantly different than any of the traditional paradigms that we've used to do similar modifications in architectural drawings in the past. And that's one of the most powerful benefits of working in the Revit software.